I'm super excited. I have some cookies tonight, and these are keto cookies, so I can have them. You may not know that I have type 2 diabetes and have to watch my carb intakes. So I'm very, very careful about what I put in my body now, which is something that I should have been ready to do much earlier. But now I'm very careful, and so I'm always excited when I find a dessert that I can have that is keto friendly and diabetes friendly. So diabetic, whatever. My son-in-law always teases me for the way I say diabetes or diabetes. He gets tickled about that and teases me. I don't know how you say it. It doesn't matter. So, how was your weekend? Drop it in the chat. I would love to hear. My weekend was interesting. I decided not to go to a paint out on Saturday, and it turns out was a good plan because the trees that they were painting under had worms or something dropping onto the painting. So I'm glad I didn't have to fight that. I stayed home and I painted. I just let myself get into the studio. As we finished last Friday night, we talked about the fact that some of us find it hard to find time to get into the studio. Well, I was actually in that position. So letting myself get in there on Saturday was really nice. And I actually had a lot of cleaning up and stuff to do. So I got busy on that and also just let myself play and actually get some stuff done. So I want to show you. First of all, I should probably go ahead and say this is artist Esther L. Jones, and it is time again tonight for PJ Talk. I call it that because if you take the letters and you string them together, you will get PJ Talk spelled with a C. So it stands for Pajama Time Art Live Chat, and I just thought that was kind of cute, so I'm making it that way. So, and I'm drinking, I almost always have some tea. I don't actually know what kind I'm drinking. It does have a coconut sort of taste to it, but I've collected quite a few tea balls that have random tea in them, and so I'm just trying to use them up, and I've been using this same tea ball all day. Did you know you could do that? Tea is you can rebrew it. It's okay to do that if you get good quality tea. You can rebrew it, so it's not as expensive as you think it is because you can rebrew it several times. So anyway, I don't know what kind this is. And this was a lovely set of teacups that was given to me. It even has this adorable little ceramic spoon. Is that not the most adorable thing you have ever seen? All right, so I love the little spoon. I have no use for it, but I carry it around because it's so cute. Okay, so we're drinking tea. And before I go on, I want to show you what happened in the studio on Saturday. So my family's always looking out for great photos for me to paint, and they had sent me a few. And this one is from my daughter, the photographer. She used to like photography. She's kind of gotten out of it right now. Things are very busy in her life. But she sent me this photo, and I had to paint it. And I can't tell you how pleased I am with how it turned out, because there's an artist, they really enjoy her paintings a lot. Her name is Teresa Saya, not sure how to pronounce that. But she really uses very painterly, has painterly style, but really just, anyway, her paintings have a lot of color and a lot of sparkle in them. So this one came out and I was like, whoa, I might be starting to kind of have a little clue of her style. So here is the painting called A Favorite Walk. And I'll bring it up a little bit closer to the camera so you can get a little bit closer look at it. All right, so that happened. That one's pastel. And then one of the cleanup things that I did was to gesso over some panels that I had used for demos for some of my children's classes. And get out of here, mosquito. While I was gessoing over this one, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to play on this one. So I did, and I came up with this, which is, I have to get to the camera. There we go. I'm going to bring it up close again because the color, oh, that's not helping, is it? There's no way for you to see all the colors and textures in this. And I just love it. I do. It's like the very first piece I've ever done that really felt intuitive. That seems to be a thing I have trouble with. This one is acrylic, so I don't paint in acrylic a lot. So maybe that's why I'm able to do more intuitive with it. Who knows? All right, so I have some notes for our talk tonight because it's important. How to make time for your art is a thing that even artists struggle with. And open my notes. So when my job got put on hold back in August, I knew that things were about to get nuts. They were about to get crazy because, and art was probably going to need to take a little bit of a back seat, both my art and my music. And so I was willing to accept that. I've tried very hard to paint every day. The whole way to get to be a better artist is to art every day. It doesn't have to be a lot, but the more you art, the better you get at it. So besides all that, it was part of my therapy. It really made a huge difference. And someday I'll tell you that story. In my mental health, it actually gave me a reason to stay alive at one time. So I had my routine was set so that art was one of the very first things I did every morning until COVID. And then COVID just quarantine and everything just screwed that up. So then when my job got put on hold, I was pivoting really hard. I needed to find ways to market my business. My business was ready to be marketed, but it was still very small. It's still very small. What am I saying? But I felt like I needed to really kick it into gear and get going on it. And so I let my making art kind of slide because I have plenty of art made. And I got really busy creating courses and doing a lot of social media marketing and learning about kicking my business off and making connections, all kinds of stuff like that. So my art took a back seat, and most mornings I would get up and art was not one of the first things I did. I would get on the computer, and I think I'm jiggling, y'all, so I'm going to push this back a little bit. I would get on the computer and I would just get busy creating courses, the social media marketing, blah, 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 blah. I would do all that. And then it would be 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I'd be exhausted. I had no desire to go into the studio. So, but I let it slide. I let it go because I knew I had to get my feet on the ground in this new venture. Until last week. And then I realized that I was not being an artist. I was not being a musician. I was actually just dropping the ball. All the things that I was trying to market, I wasn't building into myself anymore. And I knew that had to change. I knew that it had to change. So on Friday evening, if you watched my PJ Talk, you heard me say that we were going to talk this week about how to find time for your art. All right. So I think one of the very first things that can help us find time for creativity or anything else that you want to add into your life, it's real easy for us to decide that we have no time. And you very well may not. But the only way for you to find out is to find out what you do make time for. What are you making a priority? So sit down. I know. You've heard it a million times. Sit down and make a list of all the things that you do every day. Okay, you don't have to make a list of all the things you do every day. I don't need to know that while you're at work, you make a phone call at 9 o'clock every day. But I need to know that you're at work from 9 to 5 or whatever. Chunk out your life. What are you doing from 5 to 10 when you go to bed? Those are the times when you need to be watching. Excuse me while I chew. Tell me what you're doing from 5 to 10 every evening in the chat while I chew. So you're supposed to be having tea too, right? Cheers. Or whatever you're drinking. So, what are you doing during that time? Just look at that and ask yourself the question, what am I prioritizing during that time? Is it your family? Are you really actually spending time with your family? That's great. Keep doing that. Excuse me. There's no reason art can't be part of that, connecting with your family. Did you think of that? And you don't have to have time to your own self. You could include your kids, your husband, whoever's there living with you in your creativity. Okay, so what else are you doing? Is there any social media scrolling going on? Hey, listen, there's a reason that we do that. There's a scientific reason. It has to do with dopamine, which is a substance in your body that brings you pleasure. And the social media, Facebook, all those things, they all know about this chemical and they know how to fire it off. That's why you find yourself, you were just going to go check your email and you find yourself scrolling Facebook for an hour. You wake up. Oh my gosh, where did that go? Good news. Art releases dopamine too. Being creative releases dopamine too. So you're not getting rid of something if you stop scrolling Facebook. You're actually changing for something else that's going to have the same effect. Is there anything that you are doing that you're making a priority that, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing that? That's pointless. That's not getting me towards my goals. That's not even something I enjoy. Now, that's not to say that everything you do in your life should be joyful. Okay, some stuff is hard and we still have to be responsible and do it. But are you doing something that both doesn't matter and you don't enjoy it? Oh my goodness, kick that to the curb and pick up something else. So that's my little lecture for tonight, my little passion project for tonight was to share with you how important it is to just find out, just ask yourself, what are you prioritizing? Is everything that you're prioritizing something that should be prioritized? Let's find out. Just do some reflection on that and see if you can come up with a few minutes here or there to free up where you could begin to develop your creativity. Meanwhile, this is artist Esther L. Jones saying you should be looking for the music, listening for the colors, and awakening wonder in yourself every day and in your creativity. And I am saying good night until tomorrow.